Hi, and welcome to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm Woody Zimmerman here with Mark Skowalski of Remax Lakes. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Doing well. We are flying through the summertime. Kids are going back to school.
Back to school. Good Lord. I don't have any of that going on anymore.
Yeah,
grandkids.
Grandkids, yes.
Back to school, but
Yeah.
not my own.
Yeah, that's like probably what, preschool or kindergarten?
Preschool.
Okay,
Yeah.
preschool.
Last one, well, not last one, but I guess it's pre-kindergarten.
Pre-kindergarten,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a senior in high school, so.
Oh my word. So you did your last
first day.
first day.
Yeah.
All those Facebook posts.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't do.
Last
I
first
mean,
day. Yeah, I
don't.
know. They're out there.
I stopped doing that. Like me, but no. But I love it when other people
cool to
do.
see.
I know. I love it when
It's
other
cool to
people
see.
do. You see the kids grow up and so forth.
Yeah.
No. So and a lot of people will decide if they're going to buy a house or not. Their why is centered around getting the kids, to school or whatever. And so a lot of people buy like during the summer, and I'm sure you're asked this all the time. Like, is it a good time to list?
Yeah, and it's true. Is it a good time to list? Well, it depends for you. We can talk about the market, but ultimately, you need to make that decision, right? I mean, you and your family need to do what's best for you. We were talking a little bit about off air. Hey, where are you going to go?
Yeah.
So you sell your house. What are you going to do? Now you're paying a premium for whatever you're buying. If you're doing it here, if you're like me and you're in the downhill slide on the lifestyle thing, ultimately I'll be looking to downsize.
Yeah.
At some point, right?
Sure.
I mean, it's not today, but at some point what do I need the house that I've got? Can move into something smaller, maybe a different location, maybe I need to relocate for whatever. Those are all questions that we have to ask and we have to answer before we consider putting our house on the market. Because nothing worse than putting your house on the market and having it sold. Where do I go?
Yeah.
Because inventory is still tight, as we talked about last week. I mean, the show we did last week was inventory and affordability.
Yes.
There's still not a lot of inventory out there.
No.
We're seeing homes come on, but we're not seeing the big major price drops that were predicted.
Yeah, some people predicted.
Some people predicted earlier this year you're going to see prices drop. So ultimately, why are you selling your house? That you've got to answer that question, before you reach out to an agent. And getting ready for this show, I was kind of jotting down some things that I hear from sellers many times.
Yeah.
You get that call, you go on a listing appointment, you're out there and you talk about it. And typically for me, it's 2 trips. I don't go out and just, hey, this is what your house is worth.
Okay.
Because I haven't seen your house. How can I tell you what your house is worth and really do a decent job for you if I don't even know what I'm dealing with? Yeah, I can pull the statistics, but that doesn't tell me what you've done to your house. There's a big difference in a house that's got an old furnace versus one that's got a brand new furnace. Now, are we talking $20,000? No, but it's significant, and it all goes into this piece. And how do we price the house? Because pricing your house right is probably the most important thing. Once you've decided that you want to sell, getting it priced right is important. Getting it priced right is important. So hey, let's just try this price. That to me isn't an effective strategy to sell a house.
No.
And I've heard it once, I've heard it 100 times. From someone, can't we try higher? And then we discuss the why it isn't a good idea to try higher. And I remember years ago I went to a course, and the example they use, it's probably not as relevant today because none of us walk around with wheelbarrows of cabbage. But that was their example.
Yeah.
That they used is they said, okay, take a wheelbarrow of cabbage and set it out in your driveway in the middle of summer. The first day doesn't look too bad, right? Doesn't smell bad, doesn't whatever. A week later, it's a totally different story. 2 weeks later, a lot different story.
Yeah, very much so.
3 months later, real different story.
Yeah.
Think about going through an open air market, right? Where you've got food hung out. I mean, sometimes you go to islands and they've got meat hanging out there in the sun. We as Americans, we're not used to that. Everything's refrigerated. It's all taken care of. But you go to some of these countries and, I mean, they've got shanks of meat hanging in the sun, you know, and it could be for days. It's a different smell a few days later. So relating that to housing, to pricing it right, the whole point of this session in this class was if it stinks the longer it's on the market. People think there is something wrong with it.
You're right.
And that stinky cabbage 3 months down the road, there's definitely something wrong with it. You ain't gonna eat it.
Yeah, right. No.
Right? You're not gonna eat it. So whether it's cabbage, whether it's anything else, whatever you want to call it, but if you don't hit the target on pricing out of the gate, you're ultimately, it's going to lead you to price reductions and a stinky price down the road. But especially in today's market, when we are so used to things coming on and being sold, multiple offers and sold in a week or a day, if it's on there for 2 weeks, people are going, what's wrong with the house?
Yeah.
Why isn't it selling? There is obviously something wrong with it because they're not scared by the price. They're scared with the fact that it's still on the market for so long, which that's a tough place to be from a seller standpoint. Hey, I'm getting a showing, I'm getting showings, but I'm not getting any offers. 9 times out of 10, it's price. There's an old statistic from the National Association of Realtors, and I'll stick with it today. I haven't seen them updated anytime soon. If you have 10 showings, you should get at least 1 offer.
Oh.
If you have 10 showings, you should get at least 1 offer. If you don't, the answer is price.
Price.
And the answer is price. And after the break, we'll go in a little more detail about some of these things.
Sounds good. You're listening to Real Estate in Real Time. Welcome back. You're listening to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm Woody Zimmerman here with Mark Skabowski of Remax Lakes. And we're talking about if you're ready to list, you know, and the first thing we talked about was price. And a lot of times people will like try for like a higher price and so forth, and you were talking about the reasons why you need to price it right.
Yeah, you definitely need to price it right. And the argument of, well, let's try, I want to leave room to negotiate. Again, I've heard it once, I've heard it 100 times. Well, we need to leave room to negotiate. Well, when the average number in our market for homes that are selling is less than 1% off of list price, do you need to leave room to negotiate?
No. Yeah, right now you
really
don't.
If you price it right, it will sell.
Yeah.
And if you price it right, in all likelihood, you're going to have, because there is no other inventory, you're more than likely going to see multiple offers. Now, I don't promise that to everybody because it doesn't happen all the time, but in certain price ranges, absolutely.
It's been that way for a while.
It has been that way for a while. You're getting multiple offers, and it's, it isn't always just about price when it comes to buyer, and from a seller, it doesn't always necessarily have to be just about the price. What if somebody gives you a month after closing to stay in your house while, you can move out after you've sold, and you've got a month free rent before you buy something. There's some value in that for sellers. Not all, but there is some value in that. So it isn't always just about price. But again, from sellers, we can always come down. I really don't have to sell. Well, then what are we putting your property on the market for if you really don't have to sell? And I to myself, I giggle a little bit when somebody tells me that, because the reality is they've got a reason that they want to put it on the market. We need to explore, what is that? Why do you want to sell?
Yeah.
And ultimately, if you just want to get lots of people traipsing through your house, leaving dirt on the floor, and you have to clean it up and you have to leave and all that stuff, why put yourself through that? If you're not ready to sell, don't put it on the market. That would be my advice to that. And the best one is, when we're talking about pricing, is, well, my neighbor's house sold for X.
Your neighbor's house might be a lot different.
Could be totally different. And that's where, for me, pricing is really part of the process that I enjoy, because it's statistical, it's analytical.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of feel that goes into it. There truly is. My partner asked me the other day, she says, hey, this house, I'm getting ready to list it in Park Ridge. It's at blah, 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 blah address. What do you think on price? Well, when you've sold in a neighborhood, and you've sold numerous homes in that neighborhood, and you watch the neighborhood, and Park Ridge is a good one because there's a larger number. The houses are very similar. They tend to sell, they're built all around the same time. Yes, there are some newer builds, but certain areas, the houses, they come on the market and they sell. And, I threw a number out at her, and her stats were very similar to what my thought process, my gut was.
Yeah.
Right? Now, maybe it's not to the penny, but in the ballpark, I've got an idea because there's lots of homes that sell there. But lake property is a little bit more unique. You know, how much frontage do you have? Which lake is it on? There's a lot of things that go into pricing. Standard residential. It isn't just about cost per square foot. I still get people quoting cost per square foot to me. It doesn't make any sense. Cost per square foot for a house that's built in 1914 is a lot different than the cost per square foot than a house that's built in 1923.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, 2023. 1923
Yeah.
won't be that big a difference.
Yeah, right.
But 2023, a 100-year-old house is going to be a lot different pricing than what pricing a new build is. The lot is different. The materials are different. All of that stuff. All those things go into pricing. So it's important when we get ready to list that we hit the target price in order to get it sold.
But this also comes back to real estate is local.
Yes.
What about the schools, the roads, the parks?
Right. What's around you?
Yeah. What is around you?
Are you in the middle of nowhere, or you got access to amenities? Do you have access to stuff? And we've talked around and put my glasses on because I got a chart, and this is housing market forecast for the rest of 2023. And they're looking. This is a national report. They talked to Fannie Mae. They talked to Mortgage Brokers Association, National Association of Realtor, and Realtor.com. They asked all four of them, what do you think mortgage or home prices are going to do? Fannie Mae says home prices between now and the end of the year are going to go up 4%. Mortgage Brokers Association says it's going to be flat. NAR says it's going to be a 4/10 reduction. Realtor.com 0.6 reduction. Which one is it? The average is 0.7%. See how numbers can really be skewed? We only have a very small sample size, 4 groups. One is 4%, one's minus 0.6%, and the average is 0.7. That's where averages get scary, right?
Yeah.
Because you're looking at some extremes. So mortgage rates, the entities, the average works out, they're much closer to about 6.25% by the end of the year. I would agree with that. That's where I think we're going to be in the 5.5 to 6.5% price range. One thing they do agree on is total volume sold in millions for 2023 is about 5 million homes sold. What does that mean to us? It is still a good market. There are still homes selling. If you price it right, if you price closer to the target, you avoid sitting on the market longer, you avoid having to do price drops, and ultimately sending the wrong message about your house. That's the point. Price it right, and it will sell.
But also, one thing to note, there's no crash.
There's no crash coming.
Yeah,
I do not anticipate there to be a crash, nor to any of that.
According to the experts, there's no crash coming, because that's what everybody's, I'm going to wait till the crash comes, and I'm going to,
Not going to happen.
Yeah, no, not
anytime
happen.
soon.
Yeah, not anytime soon.
Right.
All right, very good. Hey, your contact information?
Sure, our website, skabowskiteam.com. Phone numbers, 574-527-0660. Check us out on YouTube. I upload these things. Hey, we're getting some views. That's a good thing.
Yep, Sierra Muggs on TV.
You got it.
All right, you've been listening to Real Estate in Real Time. Have yourself a wonderful weekend.